Welcome to the Dr. Claudia Harris channel. We're still going to be in our forgiveness, what forgiveness is and what it isn't. This is part 2. Yes. How well are you? So forgiveness is an assertion of your power, right? We talked about that. So now let's get just a little bit, not too much. You do understand how unforgiveness supports the decline of our mind and our body. It's not a do you think it is or do you think it does? This is not a subjective, this is a truth. Unforgiveness supports and sponsors ailment in our physiology, in our psychology, our way that we are processing, in the way in which we are moving forward and advancing. I didn't want to do too much because remember this is a short version of the book, but there's clinical studies that speak to that and speaks to that specifically. So forgiveness is not just about an emotional or a spiritual aspect, right? Oh, you do unto others as you would like them to do unto you. Do for your brother the way you would want to do for you. Do unto your brother the way you would do unto yourself. How many times do you forgive? 7 times 70. Research consistently shows that forgiveness improves mental health, reduces stress, even supports improvement in our physical well-being, physiologically. All right, so in the text, in the book, right, there's a whole section that says the science of forgiveness. And remember, it's a short version, so I wrote it up like so. Research consistently shows, I spoke that, lowering stress. Stress is supported in our biochemistry as having elevated levels of cortisol, right? And once the cortisol, you have too much cortisol, trauma triggers and thus, right? Okay, cool. Studies have found that forgiveness lowers levels of cortisol, and which is known as the stress hormone. But cortisol actually, when it's not in high elevated spaces, supports our sleep cycle, supports heart rate. Remember, everything has a reason that it's there. If they're saying this is bad, that's bad, first find out, be curious to find out what it's meant for originally before it goes into the other spaces. Yeah. Now, lowering the cortisol is going to also support having better immune function and thereby better overall health. Forgiveness also supports better mental health. People who forgive are less anxious, less depressed, and have less anger issues. Letting go of resentment allows the mind to focus on positive, life-affirming thoughts. Enhanced relationships. Forgiveness fosters healthier relationships. This is key for me because I am so whole healing bound. Like, I am passionate. I love to put this passion and set this fire up on everybody. But, that's not possible because we all have free will. Forgiveness fosters healthier relationships, not just with the forgiven party, if that's reconciliation, but with others in your life. It helps us approach connections, because what's a relationship but a connection? You can't have a relationship where you're doing everything and the other person is void. What? There is no one-sided relationships. You can support relationships where you know that you're not going to be supported and sponsored or looked at favorably. And you can choose to walk into that willingly and support that over and over again. Again, that's the type of relationship, although it's not a healthy relationship, it is a way in which you choose to be and move. And thereby there's that. Now, to enhance a relationship is going to help connections that have more empathy and have less defensiveness. You ever try to speak to somebody and all they're hearing is the past things that have happened to them? So they are not hearing you. They are looking like they're here in the now, but they are so far away. They can be anywhere in the stratosphere except where you are in that conversation right there with them. Have you ever had that experience? Has it been you? How has it been someone else? Or has it taken turns? This is what unforgiveness sets us up for. Being in places and spaces where we don't respect or honor now. Being in places and spaces where we choose the past rather than choosing the present, thereby supporting stemming back and stagnation and retardation in our mythology, within our methods, and in our usefulness of our wholeness. We are devoid of understanding because we choose to be a prisoner to the past. What? resisting the application of what a day, a new day, a today can offer so that we can live in a yesterday that has already been spent. Can we make it make sense? Yes, if we utilize the support of considering forgiveness. Notice I never said and forgive, because it's a process. Honey, it is a flex. Forgiveness is a flex. I've said this in other talks with us. I've said this. It is a flex. Never forget that forgiveness is a flex. A power move for you with you. It has nothing to do with anyone else. It never will. And that's why it's able to impart benefits or decline in our state of mind, in our physiology, because it interferes with our biochemistry. Unforgiveness. So if that's what unforgiveness can do, then forgiveness can work in the opposite direction to support enhancement, bettering, sponsoring healthy, mutually beneficial relationships, starting with how we relate unto ourselves, me with me, before I relate to me with you, or you relate you with me. Having support and understanding where your power lies helps, and this is a support. I hope you see it as a support as well. Forgiveness, right, gives increased life satisfaction. That's a fact. I can tell you that. Yes, forgiving people tend to experience greater happiness and have a stronger sense of purpose, because now you're not looking at the what can happen and the what ifs of somebody else's free will being the dominant factor in how you're to live your experience, how you are to set up yourself for application of walking into opportunities that are for you, rather than walking into opportunities being highly offended by anything and thereby on defense because I can't ever let this happen again. What are you doing? If you're going to live your life like it's 1983 and we're begin 2026, what are you doing? If you're going to live your life like this is June 15th, 1999, why? We're in August and it's 2026. What? I believe it's the 12th of August. Why are you acting like today is July 14th, 2024, when that horrible thing happened and you're holding on to it like it's the best and the evermore for your entire existence? Where do you have space to access when do you give yourself permission to access your joy? When do you give your support of understanding that was then? I am not the same individual I was then today. I have since grown. I have then since aligned and allowed with releasing, because I'm not interested in holding anything that's not looking to be held. Do you understand? You can only give to anyone and anything if they are willing to receive. If something is not willing to receive from you with open hands and open arms, and you can't give them one thing. What are you going to tell me if my ears are closed like this? What are you going to show me if my eyes are shut or I put blinders against my specs? What are you going to share with me if I have my head swaddled in cloth so I see not, hear not? You can't do anything for me that's favorable. You can't give me a blessing. You can't give me a gift. You can't give me a curse either. Because I'm not interested. I'm not showing up in that space. I'm not available for that. And that is the same thing. Like, what are we available for? What are we giving ourselves support of? If we are people who are saying, thank you for a new day, or are we saying same, different day? That's a mentality, right? And that is also a way to live your life. But now we're talking in the space of, now let's look at that in the realm of forgiveness and unforgiveness. Same blank, different day. No, baby, no. I'm not going to be the best jailer I can be so everyone else can go around living free while I am the pack horse for all of the things that have gone wrong or awry that I've experienced thus far. So then what's my living for? What's the point of me getting up and having new days if I'm going to stay cemented in spaces and places that have already gone away? Yes, I had some type of malaise. Yes, it was something that I did not like. Yes, okay. And now where do we go from there? So let me ask, if you had a bad day, and when you do have a bad day, or what you interpret as a bad day, does that bad day get a chance to dictate the rest of your day? Because some of us, the answer is yes. But those of us who like to keep a positive mindset because we understand the impact of having a mutually beneficial, supported outlook of saying better is coming, better is here. And if you stay in the space of aligning with the less, then you're going to get less than results. If you stay in the space of expecting the better, you're going to get opportunity for better to come up and say, hey, what's up? How can we get involved with you? How can you get involved with, how do we link this up? I was over here and doing, oh, it just happened. It was luck. It was, no, honey, it was expectation. Before anything gets put inside of your face, inside of your eye lines, before they become something that you can see and hit and touch, it becomes, first it has to be allowed in the space of what you don't see. Imagine in the spaces that are not just yet carbon, steel, wood. You get me what I'm saying? You have to sit in the space of aligning with grace and expecting. You have to align and allow that you have made mistakes, others have made mistakes, and it's not about the rejecting of your life, but it is about the rejecting of, I won't allow this to happen without limiting myself. Thereby, I give myself permission to release the thing that's not for me and forgive the thing that I need to move from so I can heal well, so I can live well. Oh, and I can live better. Hey, and in that space, people who have that level of understanding and forgiveness are going to have a stronger sense of purpose and a healthier outcomes in their spread of relationships and relating to others. Let's talk about it from a space of forgiveness and justice. I heard this before, that they want justice. They want justice. I need justice because I have been on that side as well. But look, I'm going to break it down from the book because I think it's more concise, and if I say it this way, one of the greatest barriers to forgiveness is the belief that forgiving means giving up on justice. It doesn't. I'm not forgiving anybody. I'm not forgiving her. I'm not going to forgive him. I want justice. They have to be responsible for this. Someone has to answer for this. Yes. But one doesn't go against the other. Forgiveness doesn't mean that there's no justice, and justice doesn't mean that there is forgiveness. Ask anyone that's coming out of the penal system. Justice was served, time served, time served. So why does society get a green light to keep reminding said individuals that they had this situation that they had to give time for off their life? They already time served. They already lost time in the general population area of society. You don't need to come and run that into their space so that it acts as a disgrace so that they cannot move on. So the two are not synonymous, right? They don't come and follow each other, right? Okay, good. Forgiveness and justice can coexist. They can. And in places while we are growing and healing from hurt and looking to assert our own power, our own authority, our dominion, they do. Justice is about accountability and fairness and the acknowledgement of wrongdoing. Justice. Forgiveness is about releasing emotional and the mental grip that wrongdoing holds over the life that's ours. Forgiveness holds us accountable for being fair to ourselves. I'm going to say it again. Forgiveness holds us accountable to being fair to ourselves. It supports and sponsors a healthy relationship, me with me. Without blame, without guilt, without shrinkage. Forgiveness holds us accountable for being fair to those we love by extension. You can pursue justice while choosing forgiveness. You can demand accountability for your health and from the wrongdoings without allowing anger, without allowing bitterness and resentment to consume you. You'll know that you're consumed when you don't go a certain way, speak to certain people, wear certain things because this is what happened to you. We need to heal. Think of it like this. Justice looks outward, right? Outward, 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 outward. Forgiveness looks inward. Justice looks outward, addressing the actions of others. They did, she did, he did. Forgiveness looks inward, addressing how you respond to he did, she did, they did. How am I responding? Is this for my best and highest good? Does this support me in understanding and moving with my inner peace? Does this help me move into spaces and places where I'm unbothered because I have now set healthy boundaries? Is this relevant to my allowing me to grow bigger, broader, and be bolder in my life? Or does this support and condone me shrinking and staying out of sight and muting myself, or just not entering into certain spaces because I don't have the depth of understanding? It's too taxing. You didn't even go anywhere. How's it too taxing? You have no idea what's going to happen, but you're already with all the fear. Fear of what? Nothing happened. There's no exchange of information, people, place, or time. What are we doing? How did you get here? Oh, because that's that past drag. Taking that which happened whenever that happened and bringing it into this moment of right now as if it is the gold mark, the reference for you, everybody around you for the rest of your days. Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Forgiveness is a power move, an assertion of your power, your dominion, your authority, and your willfulness to live life boldly. Yeah. So I want that to be something that you consider more and more. I want that to be something that you move with more and more. To consider it more and more. Both forgiveness and justice, they're important, but they serve different purposes, right? One more time. Forgiveness is about looking inwardly, addressing how you respond to the actions that are being presented to you. Justice looks outwards, addressing the actions of others. Both are important, but they serve different purposes. A powerful example of this balance comes from victims of violent crimes who forgive perpetrators, not to absolve the perpetrator from the guilt of what they did, the accountability of what they did, but to free themselves from the emotional prison of hatred and from the emotional toxicity of stagnation. I don't go here, I don't go there because of when do you heal? When do you support the fact that that thing that happened does not now lay the foundational cornerstones of the rest of your life? It is a process that comes through choosing. So I'd like you to consider that. Healing over bitterness, strength over victimhood. Okay. They pursue justice, the victim, through the legal system, but they choose forgiveness for their own healing. That's exactly what I've done. And that's exactly what people who have been in spaces and places where, oh my goodness, this is horrible, that what happened to you. And we make a decision to live life boldly, the way we choose to, regardless of the thing that happened when that happened, because that's not going to define me or the rest of my lifetime. What? No. I'm made for more than that, and so are you. So let's just hold that. Let's take a moment and reflect and take time to honestly answer, what does forgiveness mean to you? So last video and now this one, this is the conclusion of our part one, what forgiveness is and what it's not. I'm going to link some studies below to support what I shared with you earlier from the text about the fact that forgiveness helps to lower stress levels, helps improve mental health, enhances relationships, and increases life satisfaction. So you can look into it if you are so interested. And this is the book where it came from. And we have just gone through chapter 1 together. Peace be upon you. I look forward to speaking with you again.